You are listening to episode 59 of the Let's Go Comic Show. On this episode, we talk all of the comic books. Man of Steel #1, Justice League No Justice #4, Doomsday Clock #5, and Amazing Spider-Man 800. And be prepared, we spoil all of the flappies. This is episode 59 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
And I'm Matt.
Man, there is a lot of comics to talk about today, but let's jump into what?
A good week.
Dude, this week was action-packed. It was expensive. It was a good day for the comic store. Not a good day for my wallet, but regardless, let's get into our Let's Go Comic Show. But first, Matt, we're here to talk about comics.
Let's Go Comic Show, but first.
But first.
Head into that, but first.
Yeah, but first, we're here to talk about comics, comic book movies, comic book TV shows, everything in the world of comics, and then we rate those suckers. How do we do that, Matt?
We do that with the Let's Go Comic Show rating system.
Let everybody know how that goes down.
Starting from the top, the best one we give is a gotta go.
Yeah.
Below that is a let's go.
That's right.
Below that is a go.
Check it out.
Below that is a don't go.
Don't check it out.
And if it's especially bad, that is trash juice.
Trash juice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to talk about any trash juice today. Everything we're talking about today is probably pretty awesome. But first, let's get into a little bit of news. Finally, we've all been waiting. Todd McFarlane has been threatening us for years that he is going to make a brand new Spawn movie, and he found his Spawn, Jamie Foxx.
Pretty crazy.
Crazy? Crazy good? Crazy awesome? What do you think?
I don't have strong feelings about Spawn. I had a lot of friends that were super into Spawn, and I've always just been like, yeah, he's a guy.
He's a guy.
That's a character that exists. I think the movie that they already did was not great. Here's
Michael
the
Jai
thing.
White?
Yeah.
He was like, hell yeah. I just remember that part.
Oh, man.
John Leguizamo, God, I can't even say that.
Leguizamo?
Leguizamo, is that what it is? I was trying to call him Luigi-amo because he was in Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, he was. Luigi.
He looked kind of cool as the Violator, but I don't know much about the Violator. I don't know anything about Spawn.
Yeah, I mean,
I never read the comics. I just remember that I used to sell the toys when I worked at a toy store. And
yeah, so I mean, what I've read about this
buying.
movie is Todd McFarlane's talking about Spawn being more of like the monster, like the Jaws kind of thing. The more like you don't hear him or know him as much as he just is kind of like this brute force, you know, to be a man of few words.
Okay.
And so I think that's at least interesting that he wants to do more of like a scary, like horror kind of route.
Yeah.
So I'm mildly interested. Jamie Foxx is all over the place with what he's done movie wise.
Yeah.
But I think he can be really great. So
I think he's usually great. I feel like there's times where I'm like, we're all thinking about it. Electro, that was just bad. He was excited for Electro.
he really was.
I think people thought, Jamie Foxx's Electro, that's going to be fantastic. And it was just balls, dude. It was awful. It was so awful. I'm thinking about it right now. The part where Spider-Man licks his hand, like parts his hair. I'm like, dude, like that part was funny of Spider-Man. You know, Andrew Garfield, I think, was a good Spider-Man, but Jamie Foxx just sucked Electro. Electro was the worst, dude. He was basically an X-Man, like in that suit.
He really was.
He was the worst. Anyways, Jamie Foxx's Spawn, I think it's a good idea. I will probably watch it. You know, hopefully I still got my movie pass when it comes out.
Yeah.
It won't feel so bad when I'm like, it sucked. Because I used to watch the show on HBO. That was kind of fun. The cartoon. It was a pretty good like cartoon. But yeah, other than that, I'm not super connected to Spawn.
Yeah,
but
it's like a go for me. Like it's like, yeah, sure.
Just make a good movie. Like any good comic book movie is good for other comic book movies.
Agreed.
So, there you go. All right. So then also today it was rumored that Matt Reeves may be looking at the Penguin as his main villain for the Batman movie. What do you think about that?
Sure. I feel like stuff is so in the air with this film already.
Yeah.
Just even with who's going to be Batman.
Nobody knows anything.
I'm up for a more grounded. I hate people using that word as like a catch-all kind of thing. But I mean, to see a penguin that's more of like the gangster, a little more suave, a little less black goo. Like I'm up for
a little less black goo.
I'm up for seeing
A
what
little
that could look
less
like.
black goo, a lot more suave. A lot of people say, yeah, he should be like the Arkham Knight version, the British gangster, and I'm like, I don't know if I want that. You know what I would love? Like kind of what we got from Batman the Animated Series, like when they revamped it, the Iceberg Lounge, the kind of the, like you said, the suave, like businessman, crime boss. But I don't know if I want him to be like a main villain. He's not a main villain to me. Like I don't see what type of a problem he's going to cause for Batman, except for like running arms, you know, being an arms dealer.
Right.
Now, if he's working with other characters, like, oh, okay, he hires Deadshot and things like that, that could be cool. But I don't mean like Deadshot would be in this movie. I'm just saying like Penguin.
No, but I agree.
Penguin would have been like in The Dark Knight. Penguin would have been perfect in The Dark Knight. It's one of those guys that the Joker like yells at.
Yep.
You know, like why wasn't the Penguin there? He could have been there. I always think that sequence where Batman's going through that dance club when he's trying to get to Maroni. I always feel like that's
In
the
your
iceberg.
mind-
In
in
my
your
mind,
head
that's the
canon,
Iceberg
that's it.
Lounge, dude. Anyways, they also said, and this is coming from Justin Kroll from Variety, and so he's like a legit, like, you know, he doesn't just like spit out rumors. It's like stuff that's actually been kind of like circulating. So they also said if that doesn't pan out, that Warner Brothers wants him to be in Birds of Prey, and I guess there's a script with him in it as the main like baddie.
The Penguin, Birds of Prey.
I
get it.
feathered fiends. So that would actually make way more sense to me. Like, but yeah, whatever. I mean, it's good. It's just good to hear something a little, you know, a little legitimate.
Yeah.
Not that it's true. It's a rumor, but it's coming from Variety, and Justin Kroll's been pretty like spot on with the stuff that he's been able to reveal. So
Oh, and you know what? This wasn't on our show notes. I'm just bringing this on.
bring
you.
it up.
I
Surprise
had
me.
a friend send me a link. Excuse me. That it's, I don't know if it's rumored or if it's just talks or whatever. The production designer for the Flash film is going to be the guy that has worked on Annihilation and Ex Machina.
Oh, really?
Like those kind of movies. I'm
Okay.
like, yeah, all right.
All right,
like,
let's
those
do
are
it.
all really good movies. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Like with that Flash movie, there's like it feels like there's movement
And
on it. But
supposedly
they go back and
there's
forth.
they're not going to do Flashpoint.
Yeah,
anymore.
not Flashpoint anymore, or is it? Or who knows, dude? But then, like, I guess Ray Fisher and Ezra Miller were at some Comic-Con like last week, and like Ezra Miller said, "Oh yeah, I talked to the directors."
And that
We're doing
the actress cast for Iris
Yeah.
is still attached.
Still detached. So yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff swirling last week. So
Just make some announcements.
the DC
next
films
month,
is just a big
please,
swirl right
DC.
now, dude. Hopefully at Comic-Con they'll say something, but they said stuff last year too. They were like, "Yeah,
They
we're
put up the
making
title cards. Yeah, movies are happening. Nothing.
Batgirl and Flashpoint, and I forget what else was. Wonder Woman 2. We know Wonder Woman 2 is
Something
starts
Something.
production like this week. I think it started
Oh, really?
production like a couple days ago.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. And they said like there's going to be a new Wonder Woman costume. And so like okay.
Okay, sure.
Like if it's set in the 80s, we know that she eventually goes back to her original costume cuz in modern time
Yeah,
she's
has
wearing her old costume from the like freaking the 30s. So,
Well, and we talked about this at the panel we did at Comic-Con Revolution. Is like there's always new costumes for
Yeah.
every movie.
she'll have
They
an
slightly
80s themed
change the
costume maybe. Maybe she'll have like she'll do like a Rainbow Bright like star on her cheek or something. I don't know. I hope it's not super like funny,
They'll just
funny.
get
But, like,
past like the mod. one.
yeah, they'll get that white jumpsuit she had in like the 60s.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, for 80s she'll be like in roller skates or something. I don't know. So
What roller skates?
because like people would like,
Nothing says 80s like
Nothing.
roller skates.
dude, bright pink roller skates with like stars all up them. Yeah, I might just have to draw that up. All right, so
I feel like you're drawing from personal experience here.
hey, when it comes to Wonder Woman like outfits, I always ask you, man. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure. You want to make sure. Go back to our Wonder Woman episode in movie review and get the deep cuts on that. So, and then finally, so Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead has said, Coral, hey Coral, that after 6 episodes in season 9, he's out.
Interesting.
So he's still walking around.
He's the dude. He's
Yeah.
the dude like since the very first episode, man.
They need to just end the show. I haven't watched it at all this season.
Me neither.
Like I was hardcore last season, and like the last few episodes, I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like when Michonne and Rick were in like that junkyard. Remember that one? I
haven't watched it, dude.
Are you serious? Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
like the last 2 seasons.
Oh man, I was like, I'm done. Like, move the story along, or
The last episode I watched was the big deal, like when Negan had everyone lined up.
Yeah,
with the
that
bat.
was a hard one, dude.
That was tough, but I was
Yeah.
like, dang, dude, that was ballsy. Good for
Yeah.
him. Yeah, but here's they keep kind of, I don't know. I feel like they've kind of cornered themselves in a way that you don't want to be cornered on the show.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, Rick's leaving. Well, at least maybe you can focus on Glenn. Oh, nope. Or okay, well, maybe you can at least focus on Carl. Nope. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, it's like all of your strongest like characters. You're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Now
Well, like
Andrew
Maggie's
Lincoln's gone,
leaving
like,
too,
what are we
so
doing?
like all the characters you like are starting to leave,
they're all
and so
like no one cares anymore.
yeah, so yeah, we'll see. I just feel like the show can't really. It needs to either end with Rick, maybe they're going to go for a solid 10 years and that's it. Which I can't believe the show's been on for 10 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Almost.
I
I
hadn't
mean,
thought about
it's crazy, man. I remember buying the first season for $5 on Amazon because it was only
Yeah.
like 6 episodes. I was like, get The Walking Dead, the whole thing. I was like, yeah, let's do it, man. So anyway, so I'm not super moved by it, but I find like maybe they're going to start winding the comic down too. Because
that. Yeah. Interesting.
Kirkman said that, he's going to try to end them at the same time. I don't know how he does that. It would have been way better if they didn't tell anybody and it was just like episode 6, he's dead. And they're like, what? It would have been like the biggest like surprise ever.
Yeah.
Like, why let us know now? Stupid.
I don't know, man.
So,
That's kind of weird.
yeah. And then finally, I just wanted to bring this up. And I got this. I saw this today because Jay Yaz posted it from the Comics Now. And it made me laugh so hard. And Rob Liefeld has helped develop a new character. And it's pretty
Near
freaking
and dear
great.
to his heart.
Near and dear to his heart, his thighs, his wrists, his rib cage, everywhere. And the character's called The Pouch. And it's going to be there's this new book, the Bloodstrike Brutalist series, and Michael Fife's doing it. And anyways, Rob Liefeld drew like a variant cover to like.
That's really funny. Does it have feet?
It definitely has like feet pouches. And so it's kind of a funny idea. So The Pouch, created by myself, featured in his own comic very soon from Rob Liefeld. And so,
Everyone
it's
can
funny.
appreciate some self-deprecating humor.
And he did, and he did in Deadpool. Remember, they're like, it looks like Rob Liefeld drew his feet. Remember?
It's like, or something like designed by someone who
Yeah,
can't draw.
yeah,
feet.
yeah. It was designed by someone who can't draw feet. So that was funny, dude. So good on you, Rob Liefeld. And here's what I'll say: if I have to say anything good about Rob Liefeld, he seems like a funny guy. He's super like interesting, and I like his signature.
He's up for a good time.
He's up for a good time, and he's up for some pouches. So there you go.
Maybe he'll have another character called the Buckle.
The buckle. There you go. His tizzle. Maybe the sidekick to the pouch is the buckle. Get over here, buckle and strap. The pouch
Buckle
with
and
buckle and strap.
That sounds. You've traveled into a whole different territory. Comic book wise there.
Come on, dude. Buckle and strap. They're great. They're great characters. Love them characters.
Very specific audience.
Very specific audience. All right. Anyway, so there you go. So now, Matt, it's time. Smell them floppies. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Man, so many comics today. I haven't even read all of them. I didn't even get into Daredevil, which I wanted to read, and Punisher 225, and then I got Killer Be Killed 19.
Yeah.
Which I looked, I was like, oh, I hope that's not out today. Dang it, it's out. Like, I could have held off till next week, but you never know. Then it gets sold out, and you're kind of in a rut, and I hate having to find back issues. And then I got Blackwood by Evan Dorkin.
Oh, that back cover is cool.
And Veronica and Andy Fish. Yeah, like, it has a really cool, like, I don't know. I just saw this, like, neon pink and yellow, and it just screamed out to me. And I'm like, I like Evan Dorkin, like, of Milk and Cheese, and he's done stuff with, like, you know, Yo Gabba Gabba, and just, he's always out there. But I don't know. I thought I'd give it a chance. As I flipped through it, I'm like, I don't know if it's connecting with me, but I'm gonna read through it, and I'll probably talk about it on the next episode. So, but yeah, I did check that out, and then the big one this week. I guess there's a couple of big ones. This week was a lot.
It's a lot of
a lot,
big
but
ticket items.
the most expensive freaking comic book $10 for freaking Amazing Spider-Man 800.
Indeed.
Man, I got that Paulo Rivera cover though, because I couldn't make up my mind.
So
And,
good.
Yeah. So we'll go over the rest of the stuff that we got coming up, and then we'll jump into reviewing that. So we also got Man of Steel #1, Justice League No Justice #4, wrapping up that story. Every week we've been kind of talking about that, and then Doomsday Clock 5, which has finally come out. So
It's been a few months.
Been a few months. So let's save Spider-Man for the end. Let's get into our DC books. So let's talk about let's do Justice League No Justice #4 first. Let's talk about that.
All right.
So first
We
off,
got Francis Manapul back on.
Francis Manapul is back.
What was it, 30 pages?
Yeah.
It was a bigger issue.
Yeah, bigger issue. I couldn't tell. Like, honestly, didn't feel like there was like a whole lot of, more story to me. It just didn't feel like there was a whole bunch more. But overall, that cover is really great. I'll
So
tell you
good,
that.
man. Anytime Francis Manapul draws his Flash, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for you, boo. It's looking good.
Looking good.
Looking good. I liked seeing from the start. I liked seeing Green Lanterns hanging out, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. So I was glad to see them. And I just like interactions between Hal and Oliver Queen. So that's always fun.
Yep. The Omega Titans look really cool still.
Yeah.
Dude, there's just... Yeah, so I think there's a lot of interesting things set up. And I'll say this. I'm glad to have Francis Manapul back on the art.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fun, crazy action
Yeah.
still. At the end of the day, though, this was a 4-week ad and setup for the new Justice League books.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't really tell its own story, it felt like to me.
Yeah, it's kind of a setup. Again, there is cool
It
stuff.
felt like really good setup the first 2 issues.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, oh, okay.
That first issue was really great. But yeah, the more you get into it, it was like, this was just kind of like, let's grab as many weird things. But here's what it did do. I'd say positives made me think like, dang, if they take Starro in that direction, which hopefully he can come back. Maybe there's like a little, because Starfish can regenerate, can't they?
I don't know.
I thought they could. I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy. But I feel like Starfish can regenerate themselves, and that would be kind of cool to see him come back because I like the personality they kind of gave him. Kind of fun. So if Starro can come back, that'd be cool. I like the scene with Hal Jordan in his giant like freaking gloves. That was cool when he freaking punches like Vrildox right in the side of the head.
Yes. And having that turn for Vrildox, I thought was good too.
Yeah.
Gosh, dude, so many good splash pages. So many good. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of good like comic book stuff. Like, oh man, look at like that page with Batman leading
yeah, I literally
Deathstroke.
just turned.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like
to
that's a
that
good
page.
scene.
How do you feel about that? All that purple in Batman's costume. I think it looks really.
He doesn't have a lot of it. It looks more pink. But,
It's like a purpley like outline.
yeah, but this one, Batman didn't pick this suit. Brainiac picked this suit for him.
I'm just saying, I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing about who picked it out, man.
All right.
I think there's actually some really interesting character moments for Lex Luthor
Yeah.
because we know that the Legion of Doom is coming.
Yeah.
That's been advertised, but we're like, well, how's that going to get there? Because he spent the last 2.5 years as a good guy for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And so what's that turn? And I think you see him kind of gradually make that turn. I think when he charges like with that seed with the power of entropy, that's kind of that first like, oh man.
Yeah. And Deathstroke's all, but you're not a hero. He's all quiet.
Yeah. He said, you're a hero.
Oh, he
Like
said
you are
you're
a hero.
Oh.
That's why he was like, why would you
Oh,
charge it?
dang,
You're
I
a
read
hero.
that wrong. I read that wrong this whole time, but you're a hero. He's like quiet, not a hero, even better. Oh, man.
So I think it's good because it has lasting effects. It sets us up. I'm not mad about having a setup for what we know is already coming.
Yeah. But some of these characters, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where Beast Boy's going to end up after this, right? Is he going to end up in a Justice League book? Or is he...
I think he's back on Teen Titans.
Yeah, back on Teen Titans, okay. So there is a few things of set up, like, towards the end, you have, like, Batman talking about, like, oh, I'm gonna have... Black Lightning train some peeps.
Outside.
Hey, so he's in a train, and we know that
Outsiders. That's coming up in Detective, right?
is it? Yeah. They're going to be doing that. Black Lightning's gonna be training some of the sidekicks over in that book, and I like the part going back
Yeah.
where Superman tells John, like, done like a true what does he call him? Like, done like a true chairman, John. And I like that. Like, just bringing John Jones back into the fold of the Justice League, that's important. Like,
Yeah, and they officially do that at the end.
yeah.
Like,
And they
say,
hint at, like,
hey,
he's
you're
been
the
there for a
leader.
while and you weren't there. So I'm like, I wonder if they're ever going to, like,
Because he
retell
went
that
searching,
story.
right? Like,
Yeah.
what he...
Tell the story of where he went.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, and Francis Manpool drawing, like, Hawk Girl and Aquaman and stuff like that. Like, I just want to see more of that.
Hawkgirl didn't do anything in this entire story.
Dude, but
She
she's
was
there.
there.
She's going to be part of the Justice League.
Yeah, and that's cool. But she had nothing to do with anything except she just kind of shows up there towards the end. You know, same with Aquaman.
Yeah.
They're probably all caught up in the those chambers and stuff. And so, yeah, but it definitely is a commercial with like Justice League Dark and Justice League and Justice League Odyssey. You know,
And you have all these different things. I think it's interesting that Ollie, Green Arrow, got... he's kind of the one that has the box. It's like, hey, if the Justice League needs to be shut down, we're trusting you with that.
yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely
Like,
putting
like-
him up.
He's like, well, I think that setup's cool. I think, like you were saying, Martian Manhunter being pulled back into the center of things is awesome.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting that they still have the Brainiac ship. I think that means that that's what that team's going to be using.
Legion of Doom, dude. That's their headquarters. You think? Or
No,
you
I
think that
they're
that
gonna
will be the
using that
Justice
for
League,
Justice League Odyssey.
Odyssey? That's their. It could be. I mean, that could be kind of cool. They're like traveling through space in like a giant skull.
Yeah,
That's a cool idea.
And for some reason, Darkseid's going to be.
Why
part
is
of it.
Darkseid there? And
Here's
why
the thing.
Why is he wearing pants?
It did its job. As much as I'm like, it's just a 4-week commercial. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I'm curious about most of these. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is
Like,
I'm
why
not
is
curious-
Azrael on the team? That's so weird.
That's so weird. And
Yeah.
Doomsday.
Wait, Doomsday's on the team too?
Yeah.
In Odyssey?
Yes. When you look at that last page, he's right behind all of them.
Is he? No, that's Darkseid.
Oh gosh, dude. That's my bad.
Oh.
That's a rookie move. I don't know why. I was thinking Darkseid and said Doomsday.
You said Darkseid earlier, and then
Yeah. I don't know
okay.
why I said
I'm
Doomsday.
like, what? I'm like trying. Is he even closer?
It's
behind
only
that?
because I'm distracted by the next image down with
Detective Chimp.
Dreadlock, Swamp Thing, and Detective Chimp, which nothing in these issues got me excited about Justice League Dark, but those two characters, I'm
Yeah.
like, dang it, now I'm curious about that.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know if I like Wonder Woman in the Justice League Dark. Like, it doesn't feel very long lasting.
I'm willing to entertain the thought, though.
Yeah, she probably won't be in the book for too long, but she's like, all of a sudden, I have magical powers, or I feel connected to magic. Why?
To wonder.
Dun dun dun. Yeah. But the one thing it made me think of is with Justice League, like, I like when the roster expands sometimes, but I don't like when they take away the guys you want on the team. Like, we always want Green Lantern on the team, Batman, Superman, Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Like,
Right.
don't take those characters. Anytime you do that,
Do you feel like
Except-
them taking Wonder Woman off?
except for Justice League International, but she's still there in that final shot. Like, I wonder if she'll be in both teams. Like, it hasn't really worked out well. Like, and you look at the history of Justice League, like, they always end up like, how do we get the core 7 back? And I understand it can get kind of stale if you don't like shake things
Right,
up. But
right.
when Justice League International hit, is because they really couldn't use any of those other characters. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, the editor's like, we're using Superman here. George Perez is doing something with Wonder Woman. They're like, Batman office is like, okay, you can use Batman. All right, fine. We got Batman, and then I guess
all
we
these
can
other
use all
Jokers,
these other
yeah.
random Booster Gold and stuff. And they did something fun, but after a while, they broke it down because they were trying to get towards something else. And so, anyways, bringing the main, like, those, this should be the best of DC, and I don't know why they keep like thinning it out. They end up doing that all the time, and it gets kind of like just.
Do you feel like they're doing that now?
No, I don't actually feel like they're trying to get back to it, like with Aquaman and Green Lantern. And I don't care what Green Lantern's in the Justice League, just having Green Lantern there is good. Like having Flash there, Aquaman. John Jones is the one thing I like. John Jones should always be there. He is the heart. And so when they took him out for New 52, I was like, that was like the
Yeah, I didn't
that
love
was
that.
puzzling.
Yeah.
Like, he should be there. Like, he should have been in the freaking movie.
Yeah, I feel like
that
they're
type
trying
of-
to write that wrong. I know,
Yeah.
man. I keep going back to when I think of like what's a good Justice League origin. is New Frontier.
Yep. It is.
Every time I'm like, that's so good, and it's adaptable to any decade, any like era.
Yeah. I like what they did with it. Like even having John Jones just absorb culture through like televisions and stuff, since he's a shape changer, and then having him become a detective, and it's kind of like,
oh, gosh, dude,
like
it's so good.
Yeah, it's such a really fun idea, and it's a good concept, and I think that would work so well, like in film, or even like, I don't know, a TV show. Or maybe they put that on the DC app. That would make sense.
Yeah.
In shows all the time, like make a John Jones show.
Oh, dude, yeah, that'd be great.
He's just eating Oreos, solving crimes, going around,
and solving crimes. That's all we ever want.
That's all. That's what I want to do. I just want to eat Oreos. I just want to eat Oreos. I don't even want to solve crimes. Let's eat Oreos.
Just Oreos.
Come on.
Just Oreos, no crime. That's
no crime. That's it.
Our
That's my show. And our slogan. There you go.
All right, so what would you rate Justice League No Justice number 4?
Oh man, the issue. I feel like the issue is oh man, it's hard because I love the art. Story didn't excite me 100%. There was cool moments in it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the issue a go.
Okay.
I'm gonna give the entire series a let's go because of Manipul's art, and then kind of where it took you.
Yeah, totally.
But
I would agree. I was just thinking the same thing. Like this issue, I would say is a go. It's fine, but it's not as strong as they started, and I think the series is still worthwhile.
Yeah, and I'm gonna knock it down because they miscolored Green Lantern's boots. They should be green and not white, and they're white, and so there you go.
Well, there you go. So Justice League No Justice. Go for the issue. Let's go for the series.
Yeah, for the series.
All right. Maybe move on to Man of Steel.
The Man of Steel.
Not just any Man of Steel.
Yeah. The Man of Steel. Not to be confused with the Shaquille O'Neal Steel movie from 1997.
So famous, he's infamous.
Infamous.
So we have this Bendis premiere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had the little bit of a clip of it from the DC Nation number 0.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Yeah.
You ready to get Bendis?
Oh, man. I'm ready to just go on a huge Bendis or a bender.
Bendis, sir.
Brian Michael Bended.
All right.
Let's do it.
Sorry, none of those worked. Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Justin? Any main thoughts on how you felt about this issue?
Yeah. I didn't love it, being honest.
Okay.
I felt like Brian Michael Bendis has been built up to just be this giant like juggernaut of amazing Superman stories. I mean, he's going to be controlling all of the Superman stuff from Action and Superman, kicking it off with this Man of Steel story. I definitely am not excited about it. After this issue, it didn't do anything for me.
Can you pinpoint any of the stuff that made you feel that way?
Yeah, it just kind of feels like a fill-in issue to me. It didn't. I mean, there was Superman saving the day in the beginning. Like, I know you're going to get that. It just didn't feel like it was anything better than what was going on with Pete Tomasi. Like what he was doing was awesome.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to like hate on it, but I'm thinking, okay, so Superman's back in Metropolis. He's kind of doing your typical Superman stuff. So I mean, they might be setting things up a little bit. I like the interaction with the the little girl, and she's like cussing. He's like, language, please, and then his
thanks, Captain America.
Yeah, thanks, Captain America, and his back and forth with the firefighter lady, Melody Moore, and her kind of like
Mandy Moore.
I know, right? Mandy Moore. She's missing him like candy, yo. Some of that Kryptonian candy. So that was fine. Like, I like Superman's supporting cast has always been good. Like, I was a fan of like the 90s Superman supporting cast with Bibbo and Turpin and like Maggie Sawyer, stuff like that. And so I like that they're bringing different supporting characters in there. You can see like, okay, so she's going to be somebody. And then her kind of embarrassing like moment, like kind of like,
yeah, it's like, oh shoot.
Like, oh, nice to meet you, Superman. Oh, that was fun. I think, I'm not into this guy. I liked seeing the Guardian there. What's his name?
Rogol?
Rogol Zar?
Yeah. I'm not feeling him either.
Yeah, he reminds me of that generic Superman bad guy from the 90s, Massacre. it was like, well, we got Doomsday. We did Mongol, who's basically like Thanos. People say that Thanos and Darkseid are the same. Nah, dude. Mongol is basically
for sure.
Thanos. And we forget about him sometimes. This guy looks like, Massacre's like cousin. Just not excited about it at all. And
yeah, I would say that's something for me too. Like I'm not feeling the main villain.
Mm-hmm.
Not feeling that. I actually, maybe it's just because I like everything that's been set up with Lois and Jonathan and the family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care for the kind of flirty like interaction between him and Mandy Moore.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't flirting though with her.
She was
flirting with
giving
him.
the eyes.
And Superman's
like,
kind of was like, whatevs, dude.
They wouldn't be giving us her name and setting up that moment if she wasn't going to come back around.
Yeah.
So I don't love that. And I just, again, because I love that family dynamic, I don't love that we're right when we're starting out, something's happened to John and Lois.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm open to see what's happening there. Like, that's the one thing I'm like, okay.
What do you mean something's happening to them?
Well, at the end of the issue, like, something happened.
Well, something happened to all of them, though.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think they're going to destroy the family dynamic.
No.
I really don't think so. I like
either,
the stuff with Jonathan, like, growing and like, he's having a growth spurt. I mean,
yeah. I want to be fair with the stuff I liked, too, because
art was good.
Ivan Rice, man. And actually, Jason Fabok doing the last couple of pages, which I think is a lead into, he does the whole next issue.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird, like,
I'm
transition.
good with it, though, because you have, like, it seems like a No Justice kind of situation where it's going to be weekly, except for this one, they're intentionally doing different artists for each issue. One of which...
From the Terrifics?
Doc Shaner.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. His Superman's really good, and hopefully he can get on a Superman book.
So the art was good. I actually really liked that opening scene, like with Firefly and the Moth.
Yeah.
I thought that was great because he's listening for yelling, like he listens for things.
Yeah.
Like, where's the money? And so it felt like a very smart, like, kind of way to get Superman in there to do what he normally does.
Yeah.
So I dug that. I think even the little things, like more like the inner dialogue of him, like trying to figure out what that song was that he heard. I don't know. You can tell like Superman's just in an interesting headspace, and so you're like, okay, like what's causing this? I don't know. That's I'm not upset about it. I think there's a lot of good there. Mm-hmm. I am curious about the story, even though I'm not interested in this villain, and I haven't been won over to that.
Yeah, definitely. The villain has me. And I think that's for most of my, like, I guess my negative side of it is I don't care about the villain at all. There's nothing about him. He looks generic. His name's stupid. It's Rogolzar or whatever.
Stupid.
He just
dumb
it just sounds like a really bad sandwich you get at like a Euro,
like some Kryptonian place.
Like, some Kryptonian place, downtown Metropolis. Like, can I get a Rogolzar? What is that? And it's like
number 5.
It's like a wrap. It's a wrap with a mayo and avocado. Can I get a Rogolzar? It's got feta cheese on it. Like, oh man, those are gross.
The king of all Rogals.
But I did like you're talking the interaction with Superman and Firefly and freaking Killer Moth and stuff. Like, all that was good. I like him like kind of making a joke towards Batman.
Yeah, I think Bendis gets Superman's voice.
Yeah, it doesn't not feel like Superman. It's just the villain, man.
Yeah, not feeling the villain. But
yeah.
Can we talk about that opening scene with the villain? And he's surrounded by all of these holograms and stuff. Mm-hmm. I only recognized one of those people. Do you know who any of, like, there's like a Scarlet Witch looking dude, beard, but
I don't know. Is that the Wizard Shazam?
And you have like an Eradicator in there. I don't know. Maybe is that who it is? Is it a Green Lantern? No, because you have a Guardian.
There's a Guardian.
Ollie
looks like
Olyopsa. Crap, I'm trying to remember the dude's name.
The one guy is he's from Legion of Superheroes, and I can't think of his name.
So Appa Olyopsa is the Guardian, and so it seems like there's almost like this galactic Illuminati that Rogolzar actually has served for.
Gotcha.
And I think that's an interesting idea that like people knew about Krypton and where it was headed before it happened. I think it's
Yeah.
an interesting way to kind of flesh out the mythos that we all are already so familiar with.
Yeah, it's just gonna be really hard for me to get into that side of the story because I don't care about the villain. Like, and
Yeah,
he's
I mean, it's
his
tough.
first appearance, didn't care about him. So I'm thinking, how are you gonna get me there? And I'm trying, and I really am gonna try to like get into it. I just
Yeah, we're going to cover this like
Yeah.
mini-series.
and it's every week. It's
so
kind of
keep
like
an eye
No
on it.
Justice. And so we'll cover it because it's a big deal. It's kind of like the new thing with Bendis on Superman. It just didn't get me excited, man. I was really hoping he would.
I was hoping it would be something that would be like feel like a home run. You know what I mean? Like an easy, like, oh man, I'm so into it. So as a side note, something that did make me feel that way was I finally, after we recorded last week, I read the new Black Panther #1 issue, and it's incredible. I love it. I feel like
I need to read it.
Ta-Nehisi Coates is already a great writer, but I feel like he's really found his groove in writing comics. Like it felt like a really good comic to where like the Black Panther series before felt almost like more like a novel or something like that you had pictures to. Just it was so dense and so packed with stuff, and this felt like it moved a little better. But that's like an example of something where I'm like, okay, win me over, and then they do, and it's just like, yep, I'm
There you
in.
go. You're in.
And this did not feel like that for me. Although I'm guessing I probably enjoyed it a little more than you did.
Yeah.
So I would rate this issue. It's a tough one, man, but I think I'll go with a go on this one as well.
Yeah.
The
Just a go.
the art almost pulls it out of that for me,
Yeah.
but not quite.
Yeah, it's easier for me to read a book if the art's good, you know?
And that definitely helps this one.
And
But the design on that villain is just not
he just looks
compelling
he
at
looks
all.
awful. He looks like, I don't know, man. Looks like
Nothing.
Doomsday and like a WWF wrestler like had a baby. That's what he looks like. He just looks
After the
then-
WWF wrestler like had been retired for a few years. And was
yeah, and
balding
then like
stuff.
let's give him an axe. Like, dude, we just saw Steppenwolf with the axe. Like, we don't care. Like,
yeah, it's whatever.
yeah. So, anyways, moving on, dude.
Did you rate that as a go? As
Yeah,
well?
it's a go. It's a go. Superman, the Man of Steel #1 is just a go.
All
And
right.
So check it out if you want to. I will not force you.
On to the next one.
On
As
to the
the
next
song
one.
goes.
On to the next one. On to the next one.
Oh, no.
Okay, so let's jump into Doomsday Clock #5. So
It's been a few months.
It's been a few months. Has it been a few
little-
months? Has it been a month or 2 months?
I want to say March,
March. Okay.
maybe beginning of April.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah, and that one, that was the issue. It was kind of like Rorschach's story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's been long enough
New
to where
Rorschach.
I'm trying to remember when the last time I read it was, which in my mind is a problem when you're reading a comic.
Yeah.
Anytime you have to try to recall, like, what did I read last?
Yeah, I'm not having those metal issues where like, I'm like, what's going on with metal? So I jumped right back in. Actually, really, if we can jump to the very, very end, like
Okay.
the end of the comic, where that was probably one of my favorite parts. Was the dossier on and where everyone's coming from, like how all the metahumans are coming from America, but it's kind of like giving you like an idea of where heroes are from all over the world. And I was
Yeah.
really into that part. It was actually
Okay.
a really fun read. So check that out because it digs into
The metahuman menace.
yeah, it digs into a lot of the DC universe stuff. Like it kind of digs into the Batman Incorporated stuff. With they call it Knights Incorporated, like with all of the kind of the Club of Heroes characters.
Yeah, I forgot that what's her face like took over as the knight.
Yeah, who took over? Who was it?
The one that was the Squire.
Yeah. Oh, Squire became the Knight. There you go.
Because
okay.
the knight died in
Yeah.
Batman Incorporated.
Yeah.
Because I was looking, I was like, wait, that's not the. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you got the new Superman characters, the Great 20, which is their kind of their Justice League. So you have those. You have the Doomed from India. You have the Hayoth from Israel. So all these new characters. Some of them are from like DC, like comics history, like Golem. I know Golem's been in there, but there's a couple in there. I'm like, okay, there might
Yeah.
be some new fun characters.
And you have something interesting in that you have another team of outsiders. So we had the outsiders hinted at
Yeah.
in No Justice. This is in the near future, DC, right?
Yeah.
So say like another year ahead or a year. and a half.
Yeah. I don't. I mean,
And you
I
have
don't know
the
how that's going to
outsiders
work out.
from Markovia,
Yeah.
led by Geoforce, which again, interesting. Like
Yeah.
this is what Doomsday is starting to do for me. It's getting to that point where I'm like, you're doing a great job setting up the mystery. Eventually, we need to start having some answers.
I think we're getting there. We're kind of getting towards midway point. You know, this is a 12-issue series. This is, what is this, issue 5? Mm-hmm. So I think the next issue, we're probably going to start getting the balls. We push the ball up now. It's going to start rolling over. I wonder if we're going to run into. Yeah, we're going to run into any of the issues with, you know, when this started. I don't know if having Bendis come on Superman was part of the equation, because right here you have Lois and you got Superman. They're both at the Daily Planet. Like currently, Lois is not working at the Daily Planet.
She's gone somewhere. Nobody knows where.
And so Clark does, because he's at home with her eating tacos or whatever. And so there's this whole situation of her being there. So like they can't write this off. Like, so she's going to end up working back at the Daily Planet and all is well again. So you can't discount that story. And I don't want them to go like, well, this exists in another plane. Like, don't do that to me either.
Right.
So,
no, thank you. Like, I think this will be more interesting if they can pull it off and it still ties into the main continuity. I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
And I think you have like we got some
comics here.
What got me most excited?
Tell me about it.
Is the Golden Age Alan Scott Green Lantern coming into play?
Yep.
At whatever the Steelworks place.
Yeah.
Even, you know, to boot. I think that's really interesting. That who would have thought, like, I mean, not who would have thought, because we've seen that in the last few issues. But going into this, that it seems like the Legion, like, is playing the Legion of Superheroes is playing into this, and also at the same time the Justice Society.
Yeah.
So you have these two, both legacy involved, are playing, looks like, key parts in this narrative.
Yeah. Remember Saturn Girl was in I Am Bane. Remember that opening scene? Like, she's in there. So it's kind of cool. Like, oh, some of these threads are starting to get pulled.
Yeah.
And so that part was cool to me. Like, okay, things are gonna start getting like paid off, or like those things you hinted at. We're gonna start seeing those things, you know, brought into it. I like that. I love that scene with the comedian and the police officers. That part was really cool. He's like,
felt very comedian.
Yeah, and he's like, you're going to try and arrest me or shoot me or some shit. I'm going to have to slit your throats. Or 2, you don't see me. And he just walks by him. Have a nice evening, boys. I like that part, man. It was very comedian, and it was like, I wonder if like Jeff Johns ever has to pull off some tough guy crap. Like, writing it is different than like actually saying it. Like, would Jeff Johns ever have to say some crazy stuff like that?
I don't know. It seems like he wrote it really well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it, dude.
I think the other interesting development is you have Kahndaq is starting to become something.
Yeah.
So as far as Black Adam,
kind of a refugee place for heroes.
Yeah, which is, I mean, so it's, again, it feels like a lot of pieces are still being put into place. You have Veidt and Batman meet for the first time. You have Lois interviewing Lex Luthor, who says that the person that created metahumans and is at the center of all of this Superman theory is a metahuman, and at some point in time was a member of the Justice League.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Do you have any ideas?
Heck is that? No, like
it's not Superman. It's not Wonder Woman.
Not Batman.
It would have to be someone who's like a scientist-y type of person. Is it like Flash?
No.
So yeah, I'm trying to think. Someone who used to be a member.
Who would like mess with like genes and like DNA and stuff?
Ray Palmer,
like that?
the Atom.
Could be. I mean,
that's the only thing I can think of. Who's the only other like scientist like type of guy who's been on the team that I can think of?
Someone that's super patriotic. I don't know.
Super
well, making superheroes for the government.
Yeah, it could be. It could be Ray Palmer. Like, he could be working for the government.
I don't know. It's really interesting to
man. If I'm right, check out this episode 59 of Let's Go Comic Show. You heard it here. My theory.
So my theory,
it's not Captain Atom. Yeah, it's either like, it's probably the Atom, not the Captain Atom.
I guess there would be some a little bit of poetry to that, just with,
because where has he been? Like, remember,
Manhattan
like
being who he is.
Ryan Choi was like, he's kind of
I wonder
right?
if Dr. Manhattan is posing as someone who's part of the Justice League and he's the one doing it.
No, shoot, that's crazy.
That's my guess.
That can get even crazier. All right.
But
I
yeah,
like
I think you have a lot of interesting elements lining up here. I think it's done really well. Oh, again, Gary Frank is just
his art's so good.
just crushing this. Like those last few pages where you're going back and forth between the two scenes, between what's the old guy's name again? I feel so bad.
Johnny Thunder.
I was going to say Johnny Storm. So between Johnny Thunder, like kind of getting attacked and getting chased, and Batman falling into that crowd and getting beat up, like I think it's kind of interesting that you have he gets saved, Batman gets knocked out, and at the feet of
Which I don't buy that at all. I think Batman, that's his plan. Maybe not. I don't know.
The whole time he wanted someone to snag his
No,
cape
but
and pull him
Batman.
down.
No, but I'm like Batman can get at it. He can fight a bunch of civilians, man. Right?
Yeah, this issue was just okay to me.
I really liked it, man. Like, dude, when Rorschach and Saturn Girl show up and beat the crap out of those bad guys at the end, because I feel bad. I'm like, man,
That was pretty cool.
You have an old man or a dog get in a fight, man, my heart's gonna break. I'm like, you better freaking bust those fools. And this was like Zack Snyder bone breaks, like from the movie. Like,
Oh, yeah, for
when
sure.
Rorschach busts that dude's arm, it's just gross looking, dude. Like you see, like it's straight splitting right there. Like it's definitely that is a Zack Snyder storyboard. I bet you he storyboarded this comic. Zack Snyder's like,
Yes.
I got some time. Let me do something for you.
Finally have
So-
the Joker coming into play at the end there.
Yeah, and Joker looked like Gary Frank's Joker looks cool. He looks a lot different than the cover. You know,
Yes.
the cover doesn't. It looks kind
I
of
think
classically.
he looks kind of like it a little
Really?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't not like it. It just seemed like okay. There you go. There's Joker. I thought when they did Rebirth, they were kind of giving this new look for the Joker. That kind of he had like a black tux, kind of what we've been seeing in Tom King's comics, and so this is a little more classic.
Yeah, especially
so,
that DC Nation, like that little short story.
yeah, and so it's all good. This is the future as well. This is like a year away. So,
But we also
knows?
have not ever gone back to when Rebirth started, that theory that there's 3 Jokers.
oh, suck! You're right, and that's coming up too.
It's got to be
That's
like,
coming up in King's story, I think. Right?
oh, I thought it was going to be addressed in Doomsday Clock.
Is it?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I thought that.
I don't know. It's hard to keep track of this.
I'm trying to
stuff
remember
anymore,
who's
man.
working on it. You're right, dude. Someone's working. Someone will correct us. Someone will let us know through the internets. But I thought this was a great issue. I like seeing Batman's new suit. I like the Bat logo on there.
You're very excited by that.
I am. I'm
yellow
like,
logo.
oh, when I knew he was in there, I was like, ooh, I'm going to see that Bat logo. I'm going to see it.
Gonna see that logo
there on-
so good.
And that's a good logo. That's a yellow logo with the black
Yeah.
bat. So it was
Those are my
good.
favorite transitions. Was when you see the bat signal in the sky, and then the next panel is a close up of Batman's chest, like
Mm-hmm.
the bat symbol.
Yeah.
Lots of really good stuff like that. I think I think they used the 9-panel grid similarly to how Dave Gibbons did and Alan Moore did
Mm-hmm.
in original Watchmen. But I feel like this is even more like cinematic. It just feels like things flow from one into the
Yeah.
other.
Well,
in a
Gary
really good
Frank
way.
is just, I mean, and not nothing on Dave Gibbons. He's really good. Just Gary Frank is just, he's fantastic, man.
Yeah,
a
he's
fantastic
adapting
artist.
it and making it his own at the same time in
Yeah.
a really, really great way.
Yep.
So,
And he's breaking the 9-panel grid rule whenever he needs to, because that shot of Batman swinging through the crowd is really cool. And then, the guy pulls his cape.
oh, dude, that is a good moment.
Yeah, looks like Wolverine pulling his cape.
But everything
down.
still fits within the 9-panel. He's just combining
Mm-hmm.
a couple panels when he needs to.
Yeah, it's still on that grid. So good stuff. I like the quote at the end by Eugene O'Neill: "When men make gods, there is no God."
Yeah, dude, it's good.
It's good stuff. Yeah,
Tick tick, doomsday clock.
yeah, I like it. For me, I mean, this issue was a let's go for me. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than the last issue, and I liked the last issue. So I know it's a long time to wait for this story to wrap up, but I really liked this issue a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm waiting for some dots to start connecting. So this one's just a go for me.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of dots if you look at page 46.
There's so
Tons
many
of dots. So many dots. So that's one of the things I do like is exploring the rest of the world. Like superheroes always do exist in America. That's what it feels like in comics. And I feel like maybe they're kind of addressing that. I like when there is... that's what I loved about Justice League Europe. You had these different characters. Like some were from America because you had Flash and you had Elongated Man in Justice League Europe.
No, but you're
then you had
spreading this-
Crimson
you're spreading the
Fox.
love around a little bit,
You had
you know?
Rocket Red. You had Silver Sorcerer, and like all these characters from that I remember from when I was a little guy reading
Yeah.
these comics. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like to see different superheroes, and that's what's kind of fun about that new Superman. And when like in Grant Morrison when he was doing Batman. I remember like
Batman Inc. was so
what
good.
was it? Super Young Team, which was kind of like it was kind of like the Japanese Teen Titans or something like that.
I do remember that.
But they were like, it was like the Bat, and anyways, there were these like adaptions of the American superheroes. Anyways, all that stuff is really fun, and I like that, and I want to see more of it. I love this idea that America's like making these, the government is making these characters like Firestorm. He's like, that's not me. I didn't do that. And like Killer Frost is trying to sell him out. And and then I like how he like hates the what was it, the Russian version of himself.
Yeah.
What was his freaking name again? I can't think of his name, but there was anyways, it's just the people's heroes. His name's Posar. So I hate Posar or whatever. He just says something about him sucking. So Posar is a poser. So yeah, right. So that was good. That was good stuff, dude.
So go for me. Let's go from you.
Let's go for me for sure. So, okay. So let's get to our final book of this episode. And it is The Amazing Spider-Man, number 800.
800.
Marvel, I can't believe they made it an 800 and they didn't make it a number one. Because,
Well, I mean, give them time.
Is it going to restart? Is it going to be number one again? Is it going to be number one again? Like,
I don't know. That's a good question.
Continue...
Or maybe it'll just be a different Spider-Man title, like it won't be Amazing Spider-Man.
No, I'm trying to remember who's the guy from Invincible is going to be doing Spider-Man, and I don't know if it's.
Dude, you got your fingerprints all over this Paulo Rivera cover.
Dude, I don't care. It's not going to be worth anything. I'm not going to send my kids to school on it.
You sure about that?
You
sure about that?
Probably. My kids probably aren't going to go to school.
I think you're right. I'm not even going to. Okay, one of my favorite things about this issue, I'll just start off saying, artist from Green Valley, Giuseppe Camagoli.
Yeah.
And so
that was the one good part of Green Valley.
Whatever, dude. You're wrong. Wrong.
So wrong.
Fake news. No, to have him on a mainstream book, like that's very exciting because I think he does a fantastic job.
And he did chapter 4, right?
He did a few chapters. Let me pull that up real quick, and I'll tell you. He did chapter 3.
That's right, chapter
3. And then the two of the kind of epilogue sections. The Almost Solitary Confinement and the Return of Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
And he did the Family Infighting chapter. But on top of that, dude, Stuart Immonen. Woo.
Yeah. I mean, so he's been like the main artist on the Spider book for a bit here. And so
he did chapter 4, The Goblin Triumphant, which was really the bulk of the action. Like there was action in other places too, but that was really the bulk of the action. And man, it's so good, man. It made me miss that first part of the all new X-Men run from a few years ago that he drew. Just I really, really like his style a lot. What stood out to you? There's a lot of pages in this thing, man.
This is like an 80-page book, dude.
So we're not going to have time to go through all of this bit by bit. But
it's 73 pages of like main story with that little like they literally have this day after the credits like section, which we'll talk about that too because you got to. So
you gotta stay after the credits.
It's fun because like I'm off and on with Spider-Man. I remember I read all of the Superior Spider-Man. That was a really cool story, I thought, leading into it.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with any of this for just full disclosure.
I've read a lot of Dan Slott's Spider-Man. When I had Marvel Unlimited, I was reading a lot of it. And so it's been good. It's just, for a while, it was just coming out all the time. And I just couldn't keep up with the Spider-Man books. And then once he became like, I think it was the last number one where he was like high-tech Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I didn't like that
like he was like the new Tony Stark almost.
Yeah, I dropped out and I was like, I'm not. It was after Spider-Man came back from Superior Spider-Man. I was
yeah.
I just didn't like it. I didn't like his stupid suit either. I don't know. I didn't like the raised
spider
webs and the glowing spiders, and it just felt more gimmicky than an actual like, I don't know, like. I just didn't like it. I thought it was funny. He was driving around in a spider buggy, and so that was fun. But I didn't like.
That's pretty fun.
All of
I was picturing
the rest of it.
I just hear the song that da 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 da.
So anyway, so
I think like To continue with the art side of things, maybe that would help like organize this so we could talk about the art and then the writing.
Yeah,
Humberto Ramos, man.
Yeah, his is good. So again,
so good.
Last time I saw him, he was doing Superior Spider-Man, and so that was good stuff. And then Ryan Stegman, I think, jumped in. But this whole story was cool. Like the whole obviously like the Green Goblin is Spider-Man's like his main arch nemesis, you know, and kind of teaming him up with the Cletus Cassidy with Carnage. Really cool idea, and it was, you know, it's super personal and tying in like all of his supporting cast and bringing like, you know, little Normie into it, and just kind of the you know Spider-Man's going to win at the end, but the way like Dan Slott set it all up was really cool, and just like how diabolical and crazy the Green Goblin has got, like / Red Goblin, like to the point the one part, again, we're spoiling this comic book, so if you haven't read Amazing Spider-Man 800, like just go get it. I mean, hey, first off, we keep like pausing. Also, dude, $10 is way too much for this book. FYI, I don't know, man. They could have. I felt like Superman Action Comics 1000 was $7.99. They could have knocked a couple bucks off this deal.
Yeah,
just saying. FYI, but there's that part where he talked about putting like his little like splinters into everybody, and he was going to give them this like painful death. I'm like, oh dang, Green Goblin, you're a bad man, dude. You are
so bad. But
so
much
much
it's
that
interesting because you have Carnage though. That's I think influencing that and kind of like amplifying what's there.
Yeah, no, he definitely is, and I loved when he puts on the Venom suit. I'm like, oh, dude, that's really cool. Like,
looked really, really good.
Yeah, it looked good. It was cool to see him in that black suit again. It was like, part of me was like, ooh, is that going to affect him? Because then there's that part where he goes full-on Venom mode. Like, because Spider-Man never went full-on Venom, to my knowledge.
Yeah, but to see him,
like,
in that,
to see him with the teeth.
I had to like do a double take. I was like, wait,
Flash is like, hey, man, don't.
In? Like, what happened?
Yeah, don't do this. And so.
Yeah, and he said, don't let your rage infect the suit.
Yeah, the suit's good now.
It can be good now.
Yeah. And so, man, this whole book, dude, it was a lot to. I mean, they did a lot. They wrapped it up pretty well. It was just, I loved getting back to basics at the end between Green Goblin and Spider-Man going at it. You know, Imminja is a great Green Goblin too. I like his kind of the way he draws the longer, like kind of sack hat, whatever the heck he wears.
Sack hat. What a sack hat.
You sack hat. The Green Goblin's
right
a sack
there
hat.
With, like stupid corn dog.
Stupid corn dog. Sack hat. Yeah, I like that.
That was a great sequence too, like them like both silhouetted amongst like the fire.
Yeah,
dude, both of them back in their original costumes, like
mono.
It was a good look.
He's just bad. He's like, oh, all I had to do is like, you know, throw blondes out windows. You know, he's just like digging in, and then he kind of just gets, oh, I just have to hurt people. Okay, fine, I'm gonna start throwing pumpkin bombs at all these people hanging around. You know, some of that was a little like not on the nose, but was like obvious. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you know, like. You're not telling me anything. Like, you just got hurt civilians. Like, all heroes
not giving
like
me any
civilians.
new info.
Yeah. But you know, it's comic booky and whatever. So I'm not going to knock too much of that. Like, it could be clunky, but like in the grand scheme of the story, I like where it goes. Where he's like, oh, I'm just gonna get his ego. I'm gonna tell him it's not going to be you that wins, and you're like, you kind of see it telegraphing a little bit. And the surprise with J. Jonah Jameson there. I ain't gonna lie, like, I kind of was like, just freaking kill the Green Goblin then. You know, just be done with him. Because, like, it's... And I'm not so in love with Spider-Man where I'm like with Batman. I'm like, never kill the Joker. He's always there to come back and give you a great story. But, like, with the Green Goblin, I feel every time I read a Green Goblin story, it's this. I'm going after your family. I'm gonna, like, kill everybody. My son sucks. He's a butthole. Spider-Man, I hate you. Like, it's the same story.
Right.
Over and over.
You're not going to get something new.
Yeah, it's always this personal vendetta. So I was kind of like, okay, I don't want Spider-Man to kill the Green Goblin. But having, like, JJJ do it, I'm okay with that. And then when Spider-Man jumps in front of it, I was like, stupid Spider-Man. But then...
I think that's the part, though. Like, you're going to get the same story with the Green Goblin, but this was the moment for Spider-Man.
Yeah, but then as you turn the page, you get Spider-Man's, like... Because I could. That meant I had to, because with great power, there must also come great responsibility. I'm like, man, Spider-Man, you just taught me a lesson. Spider-Man taught me I need to be better.
He'd take a bullet for a bad guy who deserves it, who full on deserves
yeah,
it.
he should have killed him.
That was
He should have killed him.
that was a really beautiful moment because it was redemptive for J. Jonah Jameson too. Because he was like, I'm not going to let you go down this path either.
Yeah. No, and that's true. But
So he really saved both of them in a way right then.
wow, look at you.
Dude, just
Spider-Man should, I didn't just save the Green Goblin. I also served you, JJ.
But I think they also left Norman Osborn in a way more interesting place than if they would have killed him.
Okay, that was super Batman Forever right there at the end, where he's just like, I'm not I'm Batman, not Bruce Wayne. There was that whole. I don't know if I bought that, dude. But
oh, see, I thought because his weakness, right, was going for Norman's ego, right, his pride. And where he ends up is like, oh, he's just Cletus Cassidy now.
Yeah.
Like that, like is the ultimate, I think, defeat of Norman Osborn because that ego's gone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought that part really hit well for me, and even the epilogue, the
With Flash's funeral,
the goodbye portion.
Yeah,
man, like it bummed me out that I didn't care for the art at all. Because the writing was so good. Like I believe
so you didn't like the art in that part?
I didn't love the art in this part.
I liked it a lot, actually.
Oh yeah, I wasn't feeling that as much. I loved the last page, like where he's back in the Spider-Man suit, like that kind of splash page. Mm-hmm. That looks great because I usually love Marcos Martin. Like I usually actually really like his stuff. I wasn't feeling it as much in the funeral part, but man, I felt the writing was just beautiful there. And like, I coming at it as a person that hasn't been reading all the issues leading up to it, or many of them at all. I don't know. I felt affected emotionally by it still. Mm-hmm. Be like, man, like what a beautiful like tribute to the character of Flash and like what he's been.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I was going through a lot of the Amazing Spider-Man books, and I was just getting into where he became Anti-Venom. Like in the back issue reading, and it was cool, like to kind of revisit Flash because he can become very one note if you don't do anything different with him. So putting him in like the military, losing the loss of his legs.
The last like decade has been really kind to that character.
Yeah, and so he's just and then there's different iterations that have been in the movies like whatever. Like we don't have to get into that.
Yeah,
it's
Tony
just
Malloy and in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Penis Parker. The best. There was parts in this book though where I was like, I wish there was a little collateral damage that was personal. Like nothing happened. Like I was like, are they finally gonna kill Aunt May? Like as I was driving over here, I was thinking.
I was expecting that.
I was like, I don't ever want them to kill Alfred in the Batman books. He's so central, but like, do we need Aunt May anymore? Like, what else is Aunt May doing? But I'm like, dang, Marissa Tomei is hot as Aunt May.
But Marissa Tomei is
Marissa Tomei, I just saw a movie the other night
in this comic book,
Crazy Stupid Love or whatever, Steve Carell, and she's in it. I'm like, I was thinking, man, she's so great, like Marissa Tomei. so I'm like, maybe they're just they can kill Aunt May and do something to make her younger, and it's like Marissa Tomei in the comics. I don't know, but kill Aunt May, dude. She's an old bag, dude. We're done. I don't care about Aunt May.
You're like
kill her
all about killing everybody.
No, just do something. It's Amazing Spider-Man 800. Like, do something. Like, we killed Flash Thompson, but Flash Thompson doesn't have anything else to do anymore. He's Anti-Venom, but he did what he needed to do in this book. He saved everybody.
Right.
And so it was cool. He went out heroically, but the shocking thing would have been like, oh, dang, you killed Harry Osborn, or you killed, like, you knew they weren't going to kill, Normie. Like a little goblin kid who ends up still having a little bit of the red goblin in his eyes. Mm-hmm. So, Red Goblin's coming back one day. But, man, I think Aunt May, it just was her time. And then so when Octopus came back, I was like,
she was like, I'm not afraid of what's coming.
That's what I was saying. Like, that would have been the time.
Yep.
That would have been that. I think it's time to kill Aunt May.
Dang, dude.
Now we have to wait till issue 900 or 1000 or something to kill Aunt May.
I know. It's going to be in like her old folks' home where she's like barely walking around.
She's like, somebody make me some wheat cakes. Peter. So here's what I don't know. And maybe this was from Brand New Day where they erased everyone's brains. she used to know Peter was Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about that?
No idea.
Freaking DeLon, he needs to be here. DeLon should have been on this episode. I asked him to be here. He said he couldn't make it.
Let's not throw our friend under the bus.
I'm not throwing. I just need his answers because I'm like, how is
our friendly neighborhood spider expert?
Yes, DeLon Anderson. He knows everything about Spider-Man. I'm like, when did Aunt May not know? Because I thought she did know Peter was Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, and even Flash, like, it shows that he like seemed to have just
figured it out. So I thought he did know. So, anyways, it reminded me of these old like Eric Larson comics. I remember Flash is like dating Felicia Hardy at this moment.
Oh, really?
Like, dude, like mid '90s like Spider-Man comics, and like Flash Thompson is like walking down the street wearing like freaking what are those crazy pants like from the '90s? Like people like not MC Hammer pants? No, they're like crazy pants. Like they have like crazy patterns on them, but like elastic at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like Flash Thompson's wearing that. He's wearing a tank top, but it's like a belly tank top. Like he's using the abs and stuff. And he's walking down the street with like Felicia Hardy. And she's like mean to him.
Probably has like a wallet chain or something.
No, he doesn't. No, he's totally like has like a curly mullet and everything. Anyways, it just reminded me of that version of like, I want to take a picture of it. That version of Flash Thompson, dude, is what that's always been in my head of who Flash is. Because at that point he was like, I want to be like my best pal Spider-Man. Like, he was looking up to his hero Spider-Man. So when they started getting into like, oh, like he was your bet, you were his hero, it reminded me of those scenes with him and Felicia Hardy. And so, because she was super mean to him, and she was
that's funny.
Yeah. And anyways, it just took me. That's where that story took me. So it's funny how like a comic will take you back to a certain, especially when you have a long storyline like these Spider-Man comic books, but. Issue 800 took me all the way to 300 something. Yeah.
You know what? Something I didn't like was
tell me
the art for chapter 1.
Yeah, what was up with Chicken Eye, Rooster Spider-Man?
It looked like anus face, like
anus face.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that, dude.
Everything's concaving in toward the center of his face. It just looked weird, man.
The weirdest part was when he jumps down in between like Harry and freaking Harry's like, was that his ex-wife or whatever?
He doesn't squatted down like with his arms out for no reason.
Why are you down there? Like, why don't you stand up, Spider-Man? Stop squatting.
It looked like he was kind of like breaking up a fight, but it's like they're just talking.
But he looked proportionately like off too. It looked like they drew everybody standing around him, and they're like, let's just draw Spider-Man down there.
Yeah, wasn't feeling that part. But the end of that chapter when he's talking to Eddie Brock, and like the venom suit is kind of coming over half of his face, that looked really cool.
That was cool. See, in that first chapter, it looks like Umberto. Who's doing the art there at the end of it? Because it's not the same dude.
You sure?
I'm pretty like you can tell.
Chapter 1 is Nick Bradshaw.
Not where J. Jonah Jameson's in his apartment. That is not Nick Bradshaw.
What? That totally is.
That is a different art style, dude. That's a completely different style. You can tell. Unless I'm completely off,
you guys tell me. DeLon, help us.
Yeah, DeLon, help us, DeLon. You're our only help.
All right.
Anyways.
Any other thoughts about this?
I like seeing Mary Jane. I remember hearing she was working for Tony Stark, so that was cool. Her like being in there. I liked having Venom come back. Having the symbiote suit get back on Spider-Man was cool. Seeing Dr. Octopus, who I don't know what was you had more insight on him than me. I didn't remember him.
Yeah, that's similar costume to when he was in Secret Empire.
Yeah, I don't remember him in Secret Empire. So I was like, okay, cool. Everyone looks kind of Spider-Man-y. I've only been reading this like story for the last 3 issues, so I jumped on at 797. And so I kind of want to go back and get a few more to kind of catch up.
Yeah.
It was a really good story. It was fun. Like, it was fun reading a Spider-Man story again. That got me excited because the Peter Parker stories haven't been pulling me in like the Miles Morales ones have.
Oh man, yeah, totally.
And actually I just bought one of the collected editions of Miles Morales on Marvel when they had a sale a couple of weeks back.
Oh, good.
So it was like volume 3 of the new series, like a trade.
It's so good.
Yeah, again, the Miles Morales stories have just been better to me.
Yeah.
And so I've been enjoying those more, but it's been good to see like a good Peter Parker story. And so would like to go back. I still am trying to get through like Brand New Day all the way back up to like current times. And so I probably have like 100 issues or so.
Oh, just 100 issues
dude,
or so.
I read a lot of Spider-Man comics. I was just going through them, dude.
That's fun. Well, when you have them digitally like that, it's easy to just keep going to the next one.
There was another Goblin character. I can't remember what the Goblin character's name was, but he was introduced in the last thing I remember is because I remember Anti-Venom popping up, and I remember like Aunt May working at some type of soup kitchen, and then Peter Parker was helping her out.
Yeah, you know way more than I do.
Yeah.
Man, I wasn't following any of that
Yeah,
stuff.
and this Goblin character was super generic. I hated him, but he kept popping up. He'd be down, and he'd be back up because I
Yeah.
think it was on the weekly schedule at this point. Like they were going weekly with Spider-Man.
Got it.
Anyways, I like Spider-Man. He's a great character, and I'm glad that I'm excited to read the next few. And I'm excited to see Ryan Otley and Nick Spencer, what they're going to do. Like maybe Nick
Yeah,
Spencer
curious to
will
see
make
how
him
it goes.
a Nazi or something. I don't know. What's Nick Spencer going to do? Nick Spencer, tell me what's up, dude. I actually like Nick Spencer. Like one of my favorite things he did this Jimmy Olsen special back before New 52. It was actually pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
I think it was part of these backups he was doing in Action Comics.
Dang, dude, that's taking it back.
Taking it back. So anyways, what do you rate Amazing Spider-Man 800?
I would rate Amazing Spider-Man 800. I think it has some missteps. I think it has some stuff at the beginning that was kind of hard to get into.
Yeah.
But even with not having read this stuff coming into it, I would say this is a solid let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will agree. It's a let's go. I'm excited to continue reading Spider-Man. I guess 801 is the last. I thought this would be the last issue of.
I thought Dan Slott was leaving
Dan
with
Slott's.
800.
Yeah, and so in July there's Amazing Spider-Man #1 again. So that's kind of stupid. Like just be 802. Like we're all going to buy it because we all want to see Ryan Otley do Spider-Man.
Right.
Because he just came off this crazy run of Invincible. Like, I don't get it. They're
Which
probably,
seems like a really great fit style-wise for a Spider-Man book.
oh
by the
yeah,
way.
his stuff looks really cool, and just his like the cover from Free Comic Book Day looks really cool. Like his
You picked a really great Paolo
Rivera cover.
Rivera
Yeah.
cover as well.
I
Just so you
did.
know.
I did pick a great
good-
Paolo
it's a
Rivera
good-
cover.
good
Yeah,
variant cover.
There was a lot. If you go on our Instagram, you can see you make that choice, like in real time. Like you were there with me. I didn't know what I was going to get.
Yeah.
I just picked.
Decisions.
Decisions. So there you go. So Matt, we both gave it a let's go. Amazing Spider-Man 800. That's about it for the show, dude. We're done.
Yeah.
This is a good show.
A very comic-heavy show
Very
today.
as it should be, because this is the Let's Go comic show.
It is. It's
So-
not the Let's Go movie show.
Not the Let's Go movie show, though.
It's not the Let's Go TV show.
Nope.
Although one day, who knows? Maybe we could turn into.
We can turn to the Let's Go TV show. We can make that happen. So, all right. So if people want to get at you, Matt, how can they get at you?
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Ritchie. What about you, Justin?
You can find me on Twitter at J_Rocca. And then you can find the show on Twitter at Let's Go Comic Show and on Instagram as well. You can always check us out there. Maybe try to put some more information on there so you can go, oh, that was fun to see. That's what you guys look like. Or, oh, your voice
Like,
still sounds the same.
That's what you guys
Oh,
look like.
oh, that's what you look like. So you can do that. You can go to our website to letsgocast.com and you can check out our show there with the Let's Go Comic Show, and you can also check out the Let's Go podcast. You can check out Start Today podcast as well. You can go and click on that merch tab, though. That's what I'm talking about. Click on the merch tab, and you can go, oh, I want to buy something, and buy some merch, buy a t-shirt, buy something that helps the show. You can support the show in more ways. You can go to our patreon.com/Let's Go podcast. Go and do that, and you can help the show as well. You can be a part of the show. You can help us make the show better. But then maybe you're like, hey, man, I just want to leave you guys a great review with 5 stars. And I'm going to be like, go ahead and do that. You can leave us reviews. And you know, we got a new review, and I'm going to read it right
All
now.
right.
You want to read a new review? Well, let's read it. So we got it from listener K Boogies. I don't know who K Boogies is, but I want to buy your record. I hope that you drop it soon. Sounds good. So
Do the K Boogie.
5 stars. You guys bring the knowledge, appreciation, and vigor for everything comic related. I don't get to read too many comics these days, but y'all keep me in the know. Thank you, Justin and Matt. Also, DeLon is a super rad guest.
I agree.
I agree. I don't
DeLon,
want
you're a
DeLon
super
to be a
rad
guest. I want DeLon to be a permanent fixture, and that is on him, FYI.
Whoa,
So hit him up
wow.
on Twitter.
That gauntlet has been
At
laid.
Harold
down.
or DeLon. Hit him up on Twitter and say, we need you, man. Hey, people are
Don't
starting
you
to
put
write
that-
your name in
don't put that on
reviews.
him, Ricky Bobby.
What?
Don't put that evil on him, Ricky Bobby.
That's funny. So we just put a new episode of Let's Go podcast out, and I was trying to remember the girl's name from Stranger Things, and I called her Ricky Bobby Brown. It's Millie Bobby Brown, but I was like Ricky Bobby Brown. I feel like
I want to see what that would look like.
Yeah, it's funny. So anyway, so it's very easy
It's
to
like 11, but she doesn't know what to do with her hands when
Yeah.
she's on camera.
or she's just super sponsored
She has to
by
shake and
Eggo.
bake.
She's Eggo and Shake and Bake. So, anyways, it's very easy to leave a review. Just go to our website and you can just click on the link right from the front page where Let's Go Comic Show is. Or you can just go on iTunes and search for Let's Go Comic Show. Leave us a review. We will read it. Now, K Boogies is way more famous than they ever been. He or she, whoever they are. So, and we have vigor. Hey, man, you got some
I have
vigor.
vigor. I will own that vigor.
Tell your wife, hey, girl, I got some vigor. I'm vigorous. I'm vigorous about comics.
Oh, my wife's going to have some twins, too.
Yeah, you are vigorous.
We're vigorous.
You are full of vigor. All right. So, anyways, that being said, my name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.